to the family church.
Today's scripture is from Matthew chapter 5, verse 7.
Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy.
Dudley! Dudley!
Hi, Gracie.
You're not going to jump up and give me a kiss? Dudley, what's wrong? And where are your paws on, buddy?
I'm a bad boy.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. It is spring, and I guess it's muddy everywhere. Dudley! Dudley! Gracie, have you seen Dudley? He's got into Mrs. Carlson's garden again, and she's hopping mad. Oh, no, Dudley.
I know. I'm in big trouble.
What happened?
Well, there's this garden, and it's muddy, and I'm a dog, and the garden used to be flat, and now it has a really big hole in it.
Oh, Dudley. Why do you dig in Mrs. Carlson's garden?
Because I'm a dog?
Yes, you mentioned that. But that's no excuse. Did you rip up her plants?
I know how much trouble I got in last time I dug up all her flowers and vegetables. This time, all I found were these little things that looked like onions.
Those are bulbs.
Why would you bury bulbs? Shouldn't you recycle them?
Not light bulbs, flower bulbs. You know, tulips, crocuses, daffodils.
Oh, I like daffodils. Mrs. Carlson should really put her daffodil bulbs someplace safe.
Oh, you mean like underground, in her garden? What were you going to do with them?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to dig up all the pretty flowers. Last time everybody called me a bad dog and made me feel really ashamed. And the booties. Don't make me wear the booties. Oh!
I know you tried really hard to be a good dog, Dudley, but the booties did stop you from digging.
But they were so embarrassing. Even worse than the cone of shame. Oh!
Mom sounds really mad, and I bet Mrs. Carlson is mad too. But I have an idea.
Oh, did Billy get his time machine to work? Can we go back in time and not dig in Mrs. Carlson's garden?
Billy said he was waiting for future Billy to come back and tell him how to make a machine. So I don't think we can count on him anytime soon. But you can hide under my bed until things cool off.
That might help, but I feel so ashamed hiding in your bedroom.
And then I'll go help Mrs. Carlson replant her bulbs.
Oh, can I help? I love digging in Mrs. Carlson's garden.
I think seeing you digging in her garden would just make her more angry. And we just need a few small holes to plant the bulbs. I'm not sure you can control yourself.
How do we make sure this doesn't happen again?
You mean besides controlling yourself?
I don't want to wear the booties.
Mom's probably gonna make you wear the booties for a while. But we need another solution. Dad says we can't afford to put up a fence around the whole yard.
I know. We can take out all the dirt out of the garden and fill it with cement. That'd teach me.
Well, you can't dig in cement, but you can't plant flowers in it either. Maybe Mrs. Carlson would let us build a fence around her garden, like the one we have around ours.
A fence. That's a great idea. But how will I get in there to dig? Oh, now I get it. What if I go find somewhere else to dig?
Like in a different neighbor's garden?
Oh, that's a great idea.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah. I'm such a bad boy.
No, you're not a bad boy. But we can't have you digging in our neighbor's gardens.
How about...
Our garden.
Okay.
You know, there's a shady spot where Dad can't seem to grow any grass. He keeps it fenced in, but He hasn't got a grass to grow in 5 years.
Do you think I could dig there?
Well, your paws would still get muddy, but maybe we could fill it with sand.
Oh, I love sand. Remember when we went to the beach?
I remember you dug some really deep holes. You sure have a strong instinct.
Instinct? Does that mean I need a bath?
No, not stink. Although you do need a bath. An instinct is like an automatic behavior that you don't have any control over. Like what your brain tells you to do, even if it's not a good idea.
That's it. I couldn't help myself. It was my instinct.
Well, we're hoping that 2 years of obedience training would have suppressed your instinct by now. But here we are. Okay, you get out of the bed. We'll get to the bath later. Let me go talk to Mom and smooth things over with Mrs. Carlson.
You're so nice, Gracie. Thanks for sticking up for me. You're my best friend.
Aw, thank you for being such a good boy most of the time.
We often use some kind of media element in our worship service, and during this series on the Beatitudes, we've been doing superhero movie clips. And because sometimes our platforms hide them, even though we have a license to show them, when they catch it and hide it right on Sunday morning, it makes it impossible to view, so for the whole worship video. So we're showing them just as a link in the comments below. So I invite you at this time to watch our clip of the Ant-Man and think about how the Ant-Man was shown mercy. And so you can just pause the video, go down in the comments and play that movie clip, and then come back and restart the video. Mercy is forgiveness and kindness in a difficult situation. Often we think about someone in power, like a judge or a police officer or a boss, who lets you off easy when you do something wrong. Some judges are more merciful than others. As we've seen in this week's Supreme Court confirmation hearings, our system is not set up for mercy. If you show mercy as a judge, even when it's a great decision, later on someone may attack you for it. The same sort of thing can happen to any of us. As a boss, showing someone mercy might give them the second chance they need. Or it could come back to haunt you. The person might do something worse or get you in trouble. So mercy has risks. Someone who does harm might do harm again. We can keep on getting hurt over and over again by the same person. And certainly there are situations where mercy is especially difficult. When we lived in another community, there was a big case in the local news. There was this tragic accident. There were two boys who were lifelong childhood friends, and one of them, his family moved away near the end of high school. He came back to visit after graduation, and the boys were messing around with some other kids they knew from town. They decided to go car surfing. It's where you stand on top of a car while it's driving. Obviously, it's a terrible idea, and it can't have a good outcome. And it didn't in this case. One of the boys died while riding on top of the car. The police arrested the surviving boy. He was the one driving. And pretty quickly, the parents who lost their child, who could have pushed for him to be punished, asked that he be shown mercy. Now, it was his car, he was driving, and it was something he'd done before. But the family said, our two families are close. He is like our son. We don't want him put in prison. And the district attorney listened and reduced the charges. That sounds like mercy by everyone involved. connected to mercy is justice. Now, justice, there's kind of two separate meanings for that. There's the kind of justice that's a lot like vengeance. We want people who hurt us to get hurt. We like to see people punished. Last week, I had somebody go flying around me, passing me on a 2-lane road so that they could drive 5 miles an hour faster than me. There was a passing lane coming up where the road widens to 3 lanes in just a mile or so, but they raced around me right as the no passing zone was, about to start for the next mile. They could have just waited for the passing lane. Instead, they cut out in the left lane, made the oncoming car slow down so they could get in front of me. Now, I'm not going to lie. I felt a little satisfaction when not 1 minute later, a highway patrol officer came flying up and pulled them over. But justice isn't about us seeing vengeance after we get wronged. God's justice means that things are made right. People who have been oppressed are lifted up. People who have been silenced are heard. The harm is stopped. The system that keeps beating down the poor or people of color or the LGBTQ community, the system actually gets changed so that it's more fair and protects people from being harmed. I think mercy is motivated by God's kind of justice. Sometimes mercy happens alongside our criminal justice system, but often mercy needs to happen instead of it. One church I served got broken into, and the thief stole the gift cards that we gave out to people in need. We kept a stock of gift cards when somebody needed gas or groceries, that sort of thing. We also had some for the script program, like we do at the family church, where we buy the gift cards and then the church gets a little cut of the money when the congregation purchases them. Now, it was ironic because if he had come in during the hours that our church office was open and asked for help, he would have received a gift card for groceries. It turned out he was living in the woods and had been homeless for some time, had a variety of problems, and really did need help. But instead, he got a prison sentence. I asked to go see him. I thought, maybe this is a chance for mercy. The police told us this wasn't his first offense. And because of the amount of the gift cards he stole, plus the damage that he did getting into the office, it made it a major felony. I thought, maybe we can work something out with an apology and community service. Maybe there was some way the church could help. And then they might cut it down to a lesser charge in a plea deal. But the DA and the police would not allow it. I was told I could be a witness, so I wasn't given permission and wouldn't be involved in any kind of a deal. And he got the book thrown at him. On the other hand, in another church in our area, a couple 9-year-old boys broke out a bunch of windows. The pastor in the church talked to the police about finding a way to show mercy while still having some consequences and learning for the boys. One of the boys and his family chose to participate in that. They came and were given a tour of the church and explained what kinds of things the church does in the community and to help the neighbors and what the church is about. He is now a regular volunteer, and many people in the church know him from working alongside him, serving meals or cleaning or doing various projects. They encourage him to do well in school. They know him by name. The other boy and his family refused to set foot in the church, and he now has a juvenile record and some ongoing legal issues. See, mercy isn't just letting people off easy. When somebody does something wrong and there's a consequence, if you take away all the consequences, it just keeps them from seeing the harm they've caused. We talk about how that spoils kids, but it also encourages adults to keep doing the wrong thing. On the other hand, sometimes the consequence that is going to happen is just too much. Sometimes the bad thing happened for a good reason. When we hear a story of somebody who gets sent to prison for 10 years when they were just trying to feed their kids, we hope that mercy will prevail. When someone's about to be fired for missing work because they're caring for a dying parent, we hope that mercy prevails. Jesus says in each one of these Beatitudes, he says, blessed are some group of people, and then he names what their reward is. Well, the reward for a merciful person is that they will be shown mercy. To be honest, there's no guarantee that when we show mercy on earth, that we'll be shown mercy to us on earth. We can hope that doing good inspires others to do good. And every time we show mercy, there's a chance that it will inspire that person to be more merciful. But as we've seen with the other Beatitudes, the rewards can be here or they can be in heaven. One thing's for sure, I hope to be shown mercy in heaven. I've never been a drug dealer or a gangster, but I know there are times I should have done more and I didn't. Times when I acted in my own self-interest. We all mess up. Most of us get a lot of do-overs in life. Having a kid who's incarcerated has reminded me of just how close all of us are to making one big mistake. When I was a teenager, I did some things that were really stupid. I was in situations where I could have been arrested or was hanging around with the wrong people. If I'd gotten caught or someone had gotten hurt in a way that was, a permanent thing and everybody found out that I was the one who did it, I would have been begging for mercy. I spent quite a bit of time in my church youth group, and the things that I did wrong, even as a member of our church youth group, on youth retreats or whatever, they kind of taught me well. Later on, when I was a camp counselor and worked in youth ministry, I already knew what my kids might try to do. So kids got away with very few things on my watch. It doesn't take much for us to be in trouble, any one of us. Bad timing, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, bad judgment, drinking too much, just being in the car with someone when they get pulled over, somebody who has something in the car they shouldn't, can get you in big trouble. Don't forget about our participation in harming others through our words, failing to help. There's so many ways we can mess up, yet God is there to forgive us. I believe that even when we keep messing up and don't turn to God, that God will still show us mercy. I believe that when we die, we get another chance to talk to God. I believe that even people who don't believe in God their whole lives get that chance. That's how much mercy God can show. That's how much forgiveness is available to us. That's how much God loves us. That when it's all over, even the biggest crimes can be handled by God. We have to find the balance between holding people accountable for their actions and also showing mercy when the time is right. When we show mercy, we sometimes get burned. But we also have the chance to be a part of what God's doing. Maybe even save someone's life through mercy. And we do it with the promise that God will show us mercy too. I've got a question for you, and if you're watching with other people, you can discuss it with each other. And if you're by yourself, that's fine too. You can just think about it. Pause the video and think about the question, and then restart it when you have your answer. Was there a time in your life when mercy was shown? I just want to mention a couple opportunities for ministry. The first is that April 7th to 9th, some of us are going to be going on a mission trip down to Illinois, where we will be preparing things for disaster relief and serving people in need all over the world. If you'd like to join us, please send me a Facebook message. There's still space in the dorm, and we can make room for you. If you'd like to donate some liquid laundry detergent or liquid dish soap, we're collecting those for flood buckets, and we'd love to have that help as well. Another way you can help is on Saturday, April 30th. We are going to be serving the meal at the Pillars, which is a homeless outreach organization in Appleton. And we just did it recently, and it went really well. It's just an hour or 2 or 3 hours, depending on what you're willing to give on late Saturday for supper. And again, if you need more information, it's on our Facebook page. If you can't find the link, just send a Facebook message, and we'll be happy to get you signed up. Also, if you enjoyed today's worship video, please do click like. And if you think it's something that your friends would benefit from, share it to your page or share it with somebody who you feel could be touched by it. On weeks when we mention that you should like and share, we find that we get a couple hundred more views than on weeks when we don't. So it really does make a difference in helping people to see what we're doing at the family church and touching some lives as well. Thanks so much for joining us today. In just a few minutes, you will see a slide, and that will be your opportunity to give. If you give regularly online, we appreciate your giving, and use that time to give thanks to God. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.